Start now, start unsure. Your content doesn't define you. Would you say that your content has generated income?
Yes. You say that your content has generated income.
5,000% yes. There are ways that content has generated income that I probably have not quantified. The perfect idea is an illusion. It's the journey that's most important. It is the journey. My dad tells this story of a worker back in the day. This is I imagine this was in Jamaica somewhere, because the way he tells it, of course, is with a thick, heavy Jamaican accent. And he's like, this guy is working at this construction company, whatever. And so every day they have a guy at the gate when you're leaving that checks to make sure you're not taking anything with you, because workers borrow a tool or take it home, do some work at the house, bring it back, stuff like that. So they have this guy that's checking as you leave. Every day this guy is leaving with a wheelbarrow full of sawdust, and this continues like this for months. And he would come to the gate. The guy who's checking pushes his hand in the sawdust, takes it out, dusts it off, kind of looks at him and is like, okay, go. And so he ends up leaving the job. I'm talking about the security officer. Goes to some other job and bumps into this same guy that he had been checking day to day. What's in the sawdust? So then he says, because he's in a different role, he's not really the security guard anymore. He says to the guy, what were you doing with all that sawdust? Yeah. Like, what were you... Why? Every day, sawdust, going home with, like, what in the world were you doing with the sawdust? And so the guy says, I had a never-ending supply of sawdust, right? But I realized that the larger opportunity was wheelbarrows. He said, when I got home the second day with the second wheelbarrow full of dust that not even I noticed, I shifted my focus because I had now a never-ending supply
of wheelbarrows.
Oh my gosh.
That's good.
Okay. All right. And so today we're talking about finding your topic. And what I want to start by saying is that the perfect topic or the perfect area of focus, the perfect idea is an illusion. It does not exist. It's the journey that's most important and impactful. It is the journey. And I think that is going to free some people up. It freed me up for sure to recognize that you're going to still be tweaking. Well into your journey. You will still be finding out and realizing maybe that actually is why this works, or why I gravitate or I'm pulled in these directions, why I feel more comfortable showing up in these ways. And opportunities present themselves much like the wheelbarrow. And sometimes we just have to be sensitive to the fact that this could be my next big thing. So we want to jump in there today. This is the How It All Works podcast. I want to say a word of welcome to those of you who are joining us again for another episode. This is a space that we hold for content creators, for entrepreneurs, for coaches, author consultants, making sure that we have the tools necessary to leverage content or video to reach and achieve our goals. I'm your host, Kirk Nugent, and this is my co-host,
Taina Nixon.
And man, listen, we're ready to jump in. Today, we want to talk about finding that topic, but to be specific, finding your income generating topic. Finding your income generating topic. So, would you say that your content has generated income?
Yes.
See how quick that was? Like ask me the same question.
Yes. Would you say that your content has generated income?
5,000% yes. Like even there are ways that content has generated income that I probably have not quantified.
Wow.
It is without a doubt. Now, would you say it's the topic that generated the income, or was it just the fact that you put out content in the first place? Or a combination of the two?
That's a good question. I kind of think it's a combination of the two.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's good.
Actually, it might just be the fact that I put out the content, because I've had different topics
Right.
along the way. Right. I've had different topics along the way.
So here's a phenomenon. I'm going to share this. You tell me whether or not you agree. And I want to make sure your mic has turned. I want to make sure that we get that thing right. Good. So I believe, and I say this to my kids, that the bachelor's degree means that you can finish something.
Yes.
And you can teach yourself.
Yes.
It does not mean you have expertise in any specific area.
I agree.
This is Kirk's definition. And you agree.
I agree.
I believe that your topic is very similar.
Okay.
That you can finish something. You can stay consistent. Right?
Okay.
And you have taught yourself.
Okay.
Meaning, so pick a topic. So
pick something.
The picking of a topic is more important than what the topic is.
Fair.
And I think that how you make money is because the brand sees a consistent delivery on a particular thing.
100%.
So for me, I think there were some brand deals that were directly connected to a particular topic. But majority of them, I mean, I was just chatting with a brand literally last week that we are completely off in terms of our timeline for delivery. And I was like, look, man, I still want to do it, but life be lifing.
Right.
And so he was like, yeah, no, listen, I don't really care when you deliver it.
Right.
I just know I want you to deliver it.
Fair.
And that kind of let me know, okay, so for you, it's not the topic.
Yes, exactly.
What I'm looking for is you.
That makes a lot of sense. So yes, I agree then. I agree 100% because like I said, I had a lot of different topics, but then when I'm thinking about it from the brand perspective and the types of brands that I have worked with, the types of brands that have paid me to create content for them, I'm like, yeah, it's a wide range. It's a wide range from McDonald's to, from McDonald's.
Come on, McDonald's.
To fitness clothing companies. Could not be more different.
McDonald's is not helping the fitness.
Exactly. 100% not the same. Word. And I remember thinking the first time I got approached by McDonald's, I was like, okay, this needs to make sense.
We got to fit
It needs to make sense. So let me hear what they're talking about.
See what you're talking about.
So you never saw me promote no Big Mac.
No,
that don't make sense for me. If I'm gonna be over here telling you about fitness and moving your body and the type of clothing that you want to wear to motivate you to move your body, I was like, that's not gonna make sense. So just so we're clear, I was not promoting eating junk food. I did a teacher's appreciation with McDonald's.
Nice.
I did promoting
People
their
don't
gospel
recognize
fest.
how much McDonald's
does a lot. I promoted their Ronald McDonald's campaigns, like that stuff that makes sense for me. I care about that, right? So
they're very impactful in the community.
Yeah.
A mentor of mine said that McDonald's is not a fast food company; they're a real estate company. They have the best corner in every city you can think of.
That's 100% correct.
That's
100% correct, and they just leverage that to do different things, things that matter to them too, right? So yeah, I really enjoyed working with them a lot because they weren't like, hey, we noticed you eat fast food. You didn't. You never saw me eating fast food. But they're like, we like your personality. You show up. You have a good audience.
Think about that. Yeah.
No,
these are things. Again, going back to our previous episodes, if you haven't watched those, you want to go check those out in terms of, understanding your why, what motivates you. Is it internal? Is it external?
Yeah.
Is it a benefit? Or is it an actual reason for why you do what it is you want to do? So understanding those things are critically important. But when you recognize, like, one of the things that we want to do is make money.
That's right.
This is one of the critical areas that brands are looking at. And this is a great way to create income from your content. I love this. And what you shared is actually a masterclass from understanding, like, not just because somebody may be out there saying, shoot, if McDonald's calls, I'm doing it. I don't care what it is.
Right.
But you still have to make that make sense.
Make it make sense.
You still got to make that
make sense because you don't want your audience to be like, well, she just be doing anything.
Exactly. And
they stop trusting your word.
And this is exactly why picking a topic is critical.
Right.
So I'm trying to balance this thing because I want to take the pressure off of finding the right perfect topic, perfect topic, because I think that's an illusion.
Yeah.
But I do want to create an awareness that picking a topic is absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Picking a degree program.
That's right.
Is critical.
That's right.
Now, how many of us are doing what we graduated with? My hand is down
100%
intentionally.
Down. 100%
right?
down.
And I'm trying to draw these analogies because this is what picking a topic is like. But on the flip side, if you have been, and I say this to churches all the time, you put out a video oh, this is going to step on somebody's toes, but hey, this is a safe space, right? But if you put out the video this week and it's like, yo, 5 ways that husbands can be a better, can be a better to their spouse, better to their kids, like 5 different steps. And it's dope. It's a great video. It's moving the needle. People are watching it and subscribing. But next week, you are now talking about single mothers. Now, for a church, this makes sense because we're trying to cover all the angles.
I guess.
But from a content perspective, it's suicide.
That's right.
And this is why picking a topic is super critical. Yeah. You can't swing wildly. Like one week we're a finance expert. Next week we're doing underwater basket weaving. It does not work like that. It
does not. And the thing is, you can be masterful about it, right? You can weave.
There you go.
You can weave your way to some other things.
This is so good.
Right? But like, it has to make sense. It has to make sense. Yeah. If it doesn't make sense for you, it certainly won't make sense to your audience. Right? And so I remember wanting to like expand my horizons a little bit, start getting more into like fashion and things like that because I was thinking about making money.
Right.
I love fashion. I love getting dressed up. I love like curating my wardrobe and stuff like that. So I was like,
somebody just perked up.
I'm like, okay, I really like that stuff. How do I monetize that? Because I'm doing it anyway. Yeah. Right. I was already doing it. So I'm like, how do I monetize it? So, okay, I got my LTK channel. It's like, your little shop essentially that you're curating. People can go and shop your links or whatever. You get a little commission from it, but it's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. So then I was like, okay, how do I make that work? Because initially I'm just talking about like my life as a university administrator at the time, as a new mom and things like that. So then I had to be like, okay, let's start kind of getting into, well, as a new mom, I'm trying to make time for myself. I'm trying to figure out my style. I'm trying to figure out and work that in. This is what I'm wearing. Do you want a link to what I'm wearing? Here's the link. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you got to make it make sense.
You got to make it make sense. And I love the way you weave that in. Because a lot of times we think that, oh, well, if I pick this topic, then all these other topics I'm not picking. Right. And I don't want to leave any of these topics out. No, what you're really doing is picking your highest area of focus, and underneath that umbrella, you can hang so many different things. Right. So like, I was in a coaching call with my coach yesterday, and he was saying, He's annoyed by these channels where their area of focus is motivation and inspiration. And he's like, that's not an area of focus. Right. You can be motivational, inspirational in any area. Yeah. Right. So just like you, okay, I'm a new mom. Yeah. You can be motivational, inspirational in there. Right. And so once you start to look at it from, okay, this is my overarching topic. That's right. And now I can hang all these things underneath it. Right. And so for this is the formula that I like to share with folks when we're in coaching, how to come up with the topics. And again, I'm going to look at the camera right now and say, if you're taking notes, you want to take some notes right now. And so number one, you want to make a list of the topics that interest you. Yeah. Make a list of those topics that interest you. And as you come up with that list, I hope that you're not going to come up with like 50 or 60 things. Right. But as you come up with that list, start putting some ideas for videos underneath each one of those topics. One of the things that I always look for is how many videos can I come up with, and is it easy? Right. Because if it's difficult, like if you get to 5 and you're like, I don't have a clue what else you might want to just X out that one. Or maybe morph it into one else. Of the others. Correct. Because there is space and latitude. You got to, the main issue that people have here is we pick topics that are way too granular. You got to pick things that are huge. Right. Like pick things that are so large that, man, like parenting. Right. I mean, what's not in there? Correct. What's not in there? What can't you put there? Motivation, inspiration. Clothing, skincare. Come on. I did it all. Come on. I was just thinking, that's such a good point. That's such a good point. Everything's in there. When I first started I was talking about my journey through motherhood. Yeah. Right. And like just what that looks like. And then it evolved. Then it evolved into so much more that led me to brand deals that I wouldn't not necessarily have pitched myself for. But the brands can see it. They see it. They're like, man. They're like, oh, we can fit ourselves in that story. Right here. Like the most important thing is telling your story. Ooh, and then they can, if you're consistently telling your story, that's good. You keep telling your story, then they're looking for an end. They're like, okay, she's got a kid. She mentioned her kid has eczema. Mercy. We have Aveeno. Like literally reached out to me. We're doing a campaign for Black
children with eczema because we don't see pictures of them enough for people to be able to identify this is what eczema looks like in my kid. When you search it, you see a bunch of pictures of white children. And so Black parents aren't able to definitively say, I think my kid has eczema. So they did that. Very smart of them. They did that, really pushed it in order to push their skincare that treats eczema.
To a market.
That's right. That needs it.
That needs it, number one, but has not seen themselves there,
represented.
Right? So
exactly. So they made sure to reach out to Black creators, Black moms, whatever. But when I first started, I was just talking about, man, motherhood, juggling motherhood and marriage and my job is very difficult.
Yep.
And that's kind of all I was talking about. But I kept talking about it consistently.
And you share your story.
And I share my story, and then they found their way in. Yeah. Or you can find the way. Like when we talk about video ideas that you're listing there, broaden your horizons a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make that overarching topic wide enough that it gives you latitude for all the different ebbs and flows of life. Because the truth is, we're not linear.
That's right.
We're not linear beings. We exist in so many different spaces. We talked about this in our first episode. All the different categories. It's like, man, if we tried to go through all the different things that represent who we are, it'd be too much.
That's right.
50 episodes.
Right. Exactly.
But and this is why people struggle with this particular area. How do I pick a topic? Right. I'm telling you, I cannot tell you. I sit across people on Zoom or in person so many different times. It's like, I just don't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
A lot of times I find that the cheat code is, of course, knowing who you are, knowing your story, and those inflection points that make up the totality of your epistle, a living epistle. But then also, how do I share that? Is there a way? Is there overarching theme? Is there something? Because who you want to speak to is a version of yourself.
That's right.
So finding the topic sometimes is just what is going to give you as much latitude as you possibly can to share who you are. Right. For me, it's tech, it's media. I live in these spaces.
That's right.
But do you recognize, like, in tech and media, I can still be inspirational.
That's right.
I can still be motivational. I can still talk about limiting beliefs. I can still talk about unlocks and cheat codes for getting yourself out there, reinventing yourselves.
Right.
So tech media was my launch pad, but what's yours?
Right.
And so understanding that that's the thing you're doing, listing those topics out and beginning to put together what are some video ideas that I can do underneath that topic. And I want to make this one point here as well. Is there anything exciting? If it's not exciting to you, you will not come across as excited in your content.
Right.
And if you're not excited about it, it translates. Right?
Can I give an example of
that? Please do.
Okay. So we're going to pretend that my mom is a content creator.
Come on, Mom.
Because my mom is an accountant.
Okay.
She's been working as an accountant for like 30 plus years at this point.
Okay. This is not my thing, but yes.
Right. Totally her thing. Not my thing.
No.
She's very good at it. Great at balancing books. Great through thinking through budgets and like all that stuff. That's what she went to school to do.
Right.
My mom, though, it's not that she's not excited about that. She's perfectly happy to help you with that.
Right.
But it's more functional than anything.
Right,
it's the thing that puts food on the table, the thing
this is gold. Yes.
Versus my mom loves talking about health.
Come on.
She loves talking about food, healing yourself through food. And that's through her own lived experience with my dad. He had an illness when we were younger, kind of working through that. And she, when I tell you people flock to her at her job, everybody's like, hey, I'm not feeling well, or my kid is sick. Do you have any ideas? She's like, yeah. And then she gets all excited and tells them what to do. She brings them samples.
Come on.
She does all this other stuff, right? If my mom was a content creator, which of those things do you think I would tell her to talk about?
The health.
That's what she is.
It exudes from her.
That's right.
Oh my God.
It just, other people see it in her.
This is perfect. This is such a perfect, because one of the other things that I want to ask our audience to do, if you're looking for your topic, is to ask your circle.
Right.
Now I want to be clear. We're not talking about broad. We're not saying we're not posting this on Facebook.
Right.
I'm saying go to your circle individually.
Inner circle.
And don't send a group text.
Right.
Because you don't want them
people,
to, self-contaminate.
Going off each other. Yeah.
Go to your circle individually.
Yes.
And my assumption is your circle is maybe 3, 4.
Right.
Max 5.
Yeah.
And ask them, what do you come to me for? That's number one.
Yes.
Right? So in your mom's case, we come to you for health.
That's
right. But what do you come to me for? That's the first question. The second question is the same question. It's just a different framing of it. When a particular thing happens and you're like, let me call Taina.
Right. What is that thing?
those will help you immensely in fine-tuning your topic. I can't tell. I did this with a beta group when I was first launching and getting into coaching, and I had one lady did this, and she asked her circle, and when she came back to the next session, she was like, "Yo, the stuff they came up with was all the same." And had nothing to do with what I'm actually creating content on.
Wow.
And now the more I think about it, I am actually excited about what they're sharing. And I'm about to scrap my channel. Literally, she's like, I'm about to scrap this thing and start fresh. I love that for her as well, because the level of excitement that she's going to bring to that platform, to that content, it's going to be tangible.
Yeah.
I had a teacher in college. My sister was here with us this weekend, and we only took one class together. It was the statistics class, and neither of us are really, avid
into that.
math.
Yeah.
But this teacher, I don't remember his name, it was at Andrews University, but we just called him Chevy Chev because there was a theorem that he shared in the class that was Chevy Chev's theorem.
Okay.
Why do we call him Chevy Chev? Because this guy was super excited every single time. Do you know that average grade in that class was an A-?
Really?
Because of his excitement. People who were not good at math would do well in his class because this guy was over the moon excited about what he was teaching.
Wow.
There's a whole other analogy to take here. I'm going to stay on our own lane. Teachers, please be excited.
Right.
But my point is that comes across in content as well.
Yeah.
That comes across. When somebody's passionate, this is what I mean when I say, for me, like sometimes it's like one person. Sometimes it's like 2-3 comments and you're like,
that's why I did it.
That's it. That was the reason. And when it comes across that way, when it's authentic, when it's real, but you're genuinely excited about it, it moves the needle. These are the intangibles. And we don't talk about this in the context of picking your topic enough.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's like, well, I'm going to do the research. Now, I do want you to do the research. Right. That's my next step here. You do want to do keyword research. You want to do topic research. You want to see what the hashtags are for your topic. You want to see what videos are out there that are doing well. Watch those videos. See what version of that video you could do yourself. Would you do it different? Would you say it? Did they do it better than you? And be honest, right? These are some of the things you want to do as you look at your topic, but you also want to make sure that it's something you're excited about. I would weight excitement heavier than keyword, research and all that other good stuff, because those are pieces that you want to make sure you have for your topic. So just recapping, make that topic list. Create some video ideas underneath each topic. Hopefully your topic is huge. It's broad enough that several aspects of yourself can be brought to bear underneath that topic, because your story is part of what you're going to infuse in your content. Then you want to make sure that it's something that excites you. Right. And then do the keyword research. Go ahead before I touch
I just thought of something.
Okay, please.
Because on my TikTok.
Okay. Ooh,
my TikTok is such a great representation. Like my For You page, not my actual TikTok page.
Got it.
My For You page, what they're recommending to me is such a great representation of who I am as a person. It's very, very varied, even more so than my Instagram.
Ooh, that's good.
Because I don't create much on TikTok, so it's very open. I consume, and so that algorithm knows me really, really well. What's that? Yes, and it knows me well. So what I have found on there are very niche creators, very, very niche creators, but it's volume heavy. So for example,
so they put out, boom,
they put a lot. There is a young lady who rehabs Coach purses from thrift stores.
Oh,
that's pretty much all she does.
That's pretty dope.
That's pretty much all she does. And my algorithm, I watched one video and I was like, oh, I love this. It's so good. I love her process and how she finds them, and she tells you a story about them. And she's like, oh, now we're going to give it a bubble bath. And then she cleans the purse, and she has like a whole thing going, right? I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah, Kanika's going to love this. Yeah. You're going to have to show her.
I'm going to show her that. Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. So that just one time it came on my For You page. I swiped away, whatever. But of course, TikTok was like, she watched that entire video. I'm going to give her another one.
Yep.
Then next thing I know, she was doing it with a small one. Then next thing I know, she found a huge one, and then and then her videos just kept coming. So I was like, at this point, I just need to follow the girl because at this point, but it's volume heavy, right? So even though she had a lot of content about that thing, because she's at the thrift store every week looking for another bag. And then people will ask her about other things like, hey, what if the thread is coming out? What do I do?
Okay.
So then she pulled out her sewing kit and said, this is what I do when there's a thread.
Okay.
Right? So that's not a huge topic. That's not a huge topic.
Very niche.
It's very niche. It's like there are probably very few people online doing it, especially at the level that she's doing it.
Right.
Very high quality content.
Wow.
Like she's taking you through all the steps. She herself has invested in all the kits and whatever to do it. It's not huge, but it's volume heavy.
That's
so
good.
So I would say it's okay to niche down if you know that like I am into trains. That's my thing.
Boom.
We're not saying that you have to make it transportation. No. It can just be the trains.
It can just be the trains.
But make sure that you've got enough passion, enough content, like volume wise, you know, enough experiences.
Come on,
that you can speak to. Do you see what I'm saying?
So many different angles of it. I mean,
there's still angles.
Yeah, and you. I love how you said that because you shared a cheat code even in your story, being that somebody may ask in the comments what happens if the thread's coming out.
Yes,
that's another. Listen, I want to be clear. That's not just another video.
Right.
That's another series of videos. Like that's a whole nother playlist where she's like, okay, here's the repair process.
That's right.
So like before the video was just
general rehab of the person.
Rehab and transformation.
Yeah.
But here's purse repair.
That's
so
right.
now she has a whole other playlist. Here's the threads that, you know.
This is where I purchased my
tools.
threads and all that. Then there's brand partnerships that can come from that, right?
There you go.
It's all in there. So don't feel like you have to go super huge on the topic.
Yeah.
But it has to be there has to be enough in that niche that you can continue to create content from and come at it from different angles.
And don't be afraid to do 2025 version, 2026 version.
Correct.
You know, there's so many different, because things change. Like the things that I would recommend, you know, I recommended 2022. I don't necessarily recommend now.
That's right.
So you can do that video knowing that this is a video that I'm going to do on a year-to-year basis.
Exactly.
We're going to get into some of the you know, tactics on terms of your titles and topics for individual videos in our next episode, but selecting that overarching topic is so critical.
Yeah.
It is super, super critical. And the last piece I want to say here, make sure you ask the friends those two questions. What do you come to me for? And if something happens and you immediately think, let me call Kirk, what is that thing? Ask your friends that. But then lastly, you want to make sure the topic that you are selecting enables your why. And that why might be, I want to own my day. That why might be, I want to make money. Why might be, I want to establish myself as a thought leader. So if you want to establish yourself as a thought leader, you've got to pick a topic that's going to allow you to share your thoughts in a particular space.
Right.
So does your topic enable your why is absolutely critical. Your why might be, I want to mentor.
Right.
I don't, whatever your why might be, because as we said in previous episodes, your why could be all over.
That's right.
It doesn't have to fit in any cookie cutter. It doesn't even have to be content related. Your why is your why. Don't apologize for that. Like, you know, like the guys that I work with who was like, I want to work with these guys.
That's it.
That was his why. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. As long as you know what it is, let's create a path, select a topic that's going to get us on that path towards fulfilling that why. Because as you know what that why is, and as you take methodical, systematic, everyday steps towards it, you will feel fulfillment. Because you know what you're working towards.
Right.
And that's how you maintain consistency.
Right.
That's how you show up as your authentic self, because you know on the back end what I'm getting out of it.
Right.
That motivator is critical. But this process of going through and figuring out what that topic could be, this is the starting point. For many, this is the launch pad. I can tell you when I do a lot of work in faith-based spaces, of course, in creator spaces as well. And that is the number one question I get. I just don't know what topic that I want to create on.
Right.
And so here's a myth I want to dispel for our, especially people of faith, purpose-driven content creators. We've said it in the past. It doesn't have to be that you're helping people.
Right.
You may still help people.
Yes.
Even though you were selfish about your why and your topic.
Right.
That's okay.
Right.
I want to be, you could be okay with that. All right. Lastly, you don't have to be praying. You don't have to be preaching. You don't have to be doing a Bible study.
Yeah.
You don't have to, can I say it again? You don't have to pray. You don't have to preach. You don't have to do a Bible study for it to be faith-based content, to be Christian content.
Right.
This podcast is a podcast on how we can leverage content to achieve your goals, right?
Right.
but we're both people of faith.
That's right.
We're both Christians.
Yeah.
So is it Christian content?
Right.
Absolutely.
Because our faith just informs the way that we do things, the way that we do life, the way we do a podcast, the way we do content. It informs it. So it's going to shine through anyway. Right? Like, please note that in the first 30 some years of Jesus' life, he was not preaching.
Come on.
He was a carpenter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But like that enabled him to learn, to grow, and all of these things that he eventually used in his ministry to reach people.
Oh, you talking good now.
But carpentry was his thing. I read through the Bible from beginning to end for the first time a couple of years ago. And something that I was realizing in like Leviticus, a little bit of Exodus, Deuteronomy, is when they talked about people's artistry.
Oh, lovely.
How much God cared about it, how much they were praised for their artistry. The people who built the temples and stuff like that, they were talking about, in the Bible, they talk about just the level of artistry. Okay? These people did not, they give their best. Mind you, this is their first time building a temple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means all of the skills that they had were not previously used to build a temple. It was just used because it was a God-given talent that they had. It's just something that God put inside of them. Right? All of us are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Come on.
And even your love of vintage bags is something that God put inside of you. And he can use that. And it doesn't have to be explicit, right? It doesn't have to be, I'm rehabbing these bags and then all of the money that I make from selling them is going to go to the church. Like, rest. Calm yourself.
Rest.
It's going to be okay.
You don't have to hang that on there.
You don't have to.
In order for it to be, you're going to bring your full self to your content.
That's right.
When we talk about being authentic, we're talking about don't hide any aspects of it.
Right.
And I hope if you are a Christian, that's an aspect that's going to naturally come out.
It's naturally going to come through.
I love this. I want to share this as we get ready to land. There's a good friend of mine. He's a gamer, and he's actually, like me, is a remote producer. He teaches people how to create content in the gaming space.
Okay.
And I share this with his permission, right? So he was sharing I had him on my show a couple of years back, and I was asking him just a side question. This wasn't even the main thing. I was like, bro, how did you come to oh no. It was a side comment. He was like the throwaway comment. He was like, oh, I came to faith through gaming. I was like, whoa, reverse.
Right.
Share that.
Say more words about that.
Yeah, we need the details on that.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. So apparently, he's an Xbox gamer particularly, and there's a party room.
Okay.
Listen, the gamers will know what these terminology
Okay.
are. My son immediately understood, like, oh, party room.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's this party room that gamers go into, and you can talk to other gamers online while you play the game.
Okay.
And so he was in this party room. He met this guy.
Okay.
And the guy was like, yo, I want you to help me set up my channel. I'm trying to do gaming, this, that, the third. But the guy was an unapologetic Christian. Didn't realize until later that this guy's actually a pastor, but that wasn't, he didn't lead with that.
Okay.
So he's helping this guy set up his channel. He's like, dude, would love for you to come to the party room. We do a little Bible study before, and then we get into the gaming.
Interesting.
But totally up to you. You can come for the Bible study part, or you can come for the gaming.
Right.
It's up to you. So he said, I'm not going to go to the
Bible study. Yeah, I'm not here for that. Yeah.
Plus, I'm helping him. Like, this guy is a client, right? So his wife says to him, like, yo, why don't you just go to the thing so he can stop asking you? Because, like, he's going to keep on asking you. Just go to it.
Yeah.
You know, be courteous.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then go about your way. Because once you've tried it, he's probably going to stop. He's like, he's like, oh, genius.
Yeah.
So he does it. During the Bible study, he felt the tangible move of God.
Wow.
And was like, I really need to make a change in my life.
Wow.
I was blown away. Like, the hairs are standing up on my just blown away. He's like, yeah. The guy prayed with me there in the party room.
Wow.
The guy called me offline, sent me a Bible study, found a local church because they don't live in the same city, found a local church.
Wow.
Connected him there. And this guy has been a on fire believer for God since then. And I share this story to say, the guy who did this, his name is Dan. His point was gaming. It wasn't. Right. It wasn't Christian gaming. Right. It was gaming.
Right.
But he's just unapologetic about his faith.
Right.
and he wore that on his sleeve. And there's so many different interactions that he was able to have with this guy. I say that to free somebody up. There is an interest. I did a presentation for a pastor's conference recently, and I was asking them what's after the and. And they were like, what were you talking about? I was like, you're a pastor and what? And they, everybody was very afraid to say, no, I'm just a pastor. I'm just a pastor. That's all I do. I have no other vocation. And finally, one brave soul was willing to say, oh, I actually love trains. It's funny you said trains earlier. It's like, I love trains. I've modeled trains. I've got trains, all kinds of stuff. I was like, the trains is your content.
Right.
And as soon as I said that, the rest of the room started to be like, oh, I like carpentry. I actually do a little bit of this. I'm like, what's after the and is your content.
Right.
And there are people in that sphere that need to hear or see your videos, whatever it is you're going to put out there from the perspective of an unapologetic believer.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be an either or.
Right.
And you don't have to lead with.
Right.
You can just put out there, I do this.
Right.
Like I am a family influencer. I do mommy content. I do content on streaming and media ministry, whatever it might be. You put that content out there, but you will always bring yourself to these videos, to this content, and these topics really allow you to show off the full array of all that you are. Yeah, because that's what content really is about. Content is life. Yeah, life is content.
That's so good. That is so good. I am a lifestyle creator.
Love it.
And I realized I just kind of, it just clicked for me. What you're talking about is I didn't go in saying like, oh, I'm a Christian lifestyle creator. Nope. There was a time when I felt like I needed to do that.
We all have that.
Yeah. And it's like, I kept trying to like force it a little bit. And I was like, no, like let it be natural. Yeah. And then eventually it just happened. It just made sense. It has to make sense.
It has to make sense.
It has to make sense. Don't force it.
Yeah.
It clicked. One time I was talking and I think someone asked me, that comes back to what are people talking to you about? Someone asked me, what do I do on the weekend? Because I wasn't necessarily creating on the weekend per se. And then I said, oh, I celebrate Sabbath. Right. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make a video and I'll show you how I celebrate Sabbath. Yeah. And then I did that and that went viral. Come on. So I ended up making a series about Sabbath, like Sabbath with children. Sabbath, when I am going to church versus Sabbath if I'm staying home. This was pretty soon after the pandemic. Right. So I just talked about different ways that my family likes to celebrate the Sabbath and what it looks like. And it did really well, but it also made sense because they're used to seeing a day in the life type of stuff from me. They're used to seeing a get ready with me, that kind of thing. So it's lifestyle, it's my lifestyle. Yeah. And being a Christian, that's part of my lifestyle.
And then the whole rest piece is just such an unfair cheat code because, we live in a hustle culture.
Exactly. So people love that. They're like, oh, wow, you don't work? I was like, I don't wash dishes. Come on. The ladies love that. They're like, yeah, I was like, I don't cook on the Sabbath. I don't wash dishes. And the way that's framed for us is usually is like, these are the rules that you can't do. No, and they saw it as like a privilege. Oh, wow, I get to take a day where I don't have to feel guilty about not doing this. And that's why I use that terminology too. I celebrate Sabbath. I celebrate Sabbath every week. And so they ate that up. They loved it. Little do they know, the Holy Spirit is planting the seeds.
Come on, right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, He is.
And I just said it right there, and I left it alone.
Yeah, because you don't know what the other circumstances in these people's lives will germinate. One's water, one's gonna plant, one's gonna pull up weeds. The sun's gonna shine on that thing. You never know what's gonna happen. I love this. Yeah, I love this. We must land here. Listen, I want to say this as we close. It's okay to pivot. I think we started there, with the story with the wheelbarrow. Yes. Well, it is okay to pivot, y'all. Yeah. It is okay to pivot. It is okay to recognize that you have received further clarity and you may actually need to shift to another topic. Here's the thing that many people get paralyzed with is waiting to find or waiting for the clarity or waiting for the pivot before they even start. If I started as a fitness vlogger, if I never did that, I wouldn't have had information. I wouldn't have had skills. I wouldn't have had to process a workflow that I could utilize as I begin to get more clarity on what my topic or what my content is going to be.
Exactly.
The work that you need to do now is the initial work of getting into the rhythm of creating content. Right. And as you do that, as you engage with people, as you engage with your audience, as you engage with comments, you'll realize, oh, I could add this. and think about it from the perspective of your overarching topic. And if it doesn't work with the overarching topic, maybe, just maybe, it's time for a pivot. Not every comment is a reason to pivot, because people will be like, hey, can you do a video on this? You got to recognize what's for you and what's not for you. But it is okay to pivot. You have that permission to be able to pivot. Start broad, niche down. The perfect idea is an illusion. Start now, start unsure. Your content doesn't define you. Content is most successful when it's focused on one topic. And that's what I want to share with you today. Hoping that somewhere in there, you got a framework that's going to give you the tools necessary for you to be able to hone in on your topic. And I want you to come back with us next time as we talk through what comes first, the title or the content. This has been another episode of the How It All Works podcast. I'm your host, Kirk Nugent. We are our lovely co-host,
Taina Nixon.
Man, this was fun. See you guys in the next one.